Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through Benji at alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show solely due to the love and support that you all continue to show. We're available across all major podcast distributors. And like I mentioned, people, if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in because we are delighted to showcase this next guest on our network. And on the line with us today, we have the impressive Brian Taylor. Now, we're going to be discussing a very fun children's book that Brian has developed. Now, it's called Peanut Butter's Problem. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, man, it's a lot of other places. Check out BrianTaylorBooks.com to gather everything. You see, because in addition to this book, Brian has been putting this work, man, and he also has a number of poetry books that you're going to want to get your hands on. 5 other books, to be exact. And Peanut Butter's Problem is the anchor for today, but there's a lot more in store and you're gonna wanna check them out. Again, that's BrianTaylorBooks.com. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Brian here on the line. Man, we all remember the sandwich, right? I mean, you see it there in the title, it's gonna take you back. The one that was wrapped in plastic wrap, right? Waiting for us at lunch. It was sticky, it was sweet, it was reliably familiar. Well, today, we're asking what happens when that reliable comfort starts to feel a little lost. Oh man, listen, I'm having some fun here. We're sitting down with Brian to unpack the emotional depth hiding in the pantry. Okay, because in his book, Peanut Butter's Problem, the food we grew up with is dealing with the crisis of identity. And it might just teach our kids how to handle their own. It is a fun journey. It is wonderfully crafted, but it's also, it's gonna pack a punch and it's gonna give some education for your children. Sit back, strap in, and let's get it started. Brian, first and foremost, welcome to the network, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me.
Brian, it is a pleasure to have you, okay? This is a wonderful children's book, very fun, but also relatable content, right? And which I think is key to all of this. So we're looking forward to this discussion, man. Again, welcome to the network. And let's start off first and foremost at that ground floor. Brian, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background, please.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. My name is Brian Taylor. I have lived in Oceanside, California all my life. I've been an educator for 33 years and I'm retiring at the end of June this year. And I've always taught the primary grades, kindergarten through 3rd grade. Knew I wanted to be a teacher since I was 5 or 6, made my friends play school with me, and always enjoyed writing at an early age. I had friends encourage me to write because they would see I always had a pen and paper in my hand and was always motivated to write something whatever setting I was in. So that's a little bit about me.
Love that. Well, listen, you're just further south than we are here in Los Angeles. And as I mentioned, man, I have a lot of educators that I know in LAUSD, actually. So maybe your paths could have possibly crossed at some point. But I want to take this opportunity, man. I want to take a quick moment here and pay some respects, okay? Because educators, man, y'all never receive the amount of credit that you deserve for what you do, and you damn sure don't get paid enough, okay? So from all of us here at People of Distinction, keep it up, because I know you mentioned you're retiring, which congratulations, by the way, but whether you're in the classroom or not, as an educator, you understand the education doesn't stop, right? So it always continues. Keep up the fantastic work. And without further ado, let's get it started here, Brian, because of course, the anchor for today is all about your book, Peanut Butter's Problem. And I'm excited to learn more about it, man. So give us a brief synopsis. Tell us more about your book.
Yeah, Peanut Butter's Problem was my sixth book that I wrote. And I didn't think I could write a children's book. I admire children's authors, and I didn't think I had it in me to write a children's book, but the concept of peanut butter, and you just mentioned the concept of peanut butter is so great in the introduction to this video. Peanut butter came to my mind because that's a staple in a children's diet at a very early age. And I thought, I'd like to write something about peanut butter. And I was thinking, what could I do with peanut butter? So I thought, peanut butter is matched with a very popular food that kids love on their sandwiches. And I'm going to have peanut butter be in search for what this match is, but it's not going to be an easy process. He's going to have to go through his other food friends that he lives with in a refrigerator to find out who this match is. And it takes a while, but he ends up finding the match. His life goes a lot more smoothly, and it has a great ending in mind. It has a great ending at the end. So that's where the concept came from.
Love that. Okay, well, listen, let's talk about that a little further, okay? Because you mentioned a moment ago that you didn't think you could write children's books, and you've always admired children's authors. Okay. All right, well, let's take us back then, man. I mean, what was that precipice? What was that final push that really made you feel this had to be done, right? Like it wasn't something you were thinking about anymore. It was time to execute, put the pen to the page, and get it started. What was that precipice for you?
The precipice for me would be, I kept having the concept of peanut butter in my mind over and over again. When I was dreaming at night, the concept of peanut butter with this match constantly was in my mind, and the concept never left. So primarily it was through constant thoughts and ideas that were going through my head. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a shot at it and write a children's book, but use my poetry skills to write the children's book. And it took about 5 to 6 weeks, but the ideas came to my mind easily. The different characters I wanted came to my mind. The words were flashing in my head and my mind. And it ended up becoming a very smooth process. So just being patient with myself, and again, using my poetry skills to write the children's book, that helped tremendously.
Well, Brian, listen, man, I love that. But you sure you weren't just hungry, right? And maybe that was the reason why it wouldn't leave your mind. I mean, I don't know. No. All right. I'm just having some fun here, people. Listen, man, you know what you got to do. It's the perfect time to stop. And let's plug it again. Remember, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's BrianTaylorBooks.com. Remember, today's anchor, Peanut Butter's Problem, it's just the beginning, all right? Because there are 6 other books that you're going to want to get your hands on as well. And I promise you that once you head on over to the website, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So you know where to go. Pick up your copies today. Brian, my follow-up, man, that I want to go into now. So you've proven to yourself that you can, in fact, write a children's book. Congratulations, by the way. Well, what was the highlight for you? I mean, going through this process and creating it, what was a highlight or maybe even something that surprised you that you weren't anticipating before you began?
It was the receptivity that I received from people that have read the book. Out of all my books, Peanut Butter's Problem has gotten a lot of positive receptivity from young kids, from many grandmothers that have read it to their grandchildren. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback, and I say that humbly. Another great motivator is being asked, what's the sequel going to be? And I've already started a sequel to Peanut Butter's Problem. There's several food characters, and one of the food characters, I'm starting a book on one of the food characters from Peanut Butter's Problem. And it got attention from the New York Times. That was a big motivator. So those two things were the biggest motivators for me.
Well, listen, man, well deserved, okay? And we wish you nothing but continued success in all of your endeavors, of course. And now I gotta go, Brian, to, listen, man, probably, in my opinion, the most important question of our discussion. Now, stick with me here. It's an important one, and we gotta get down to the nitty-gritty, okay? I have to know. Are we chunky peanut butter or are we smooth peanut butter? Man, like, what are we talking about here? What are we doing, Brian? Where are we going with this?
Chunky. Chunky all the way.
My man, I love it. Chunky, obviously, right? Right, listen, man. I'm gonna go home. I have to have a conversation with my wife tonight because she is all about smooth. Anyways, it's another discussion. Joking aside, right? As we start to close out of here, Brian, we've discussed a lot, man, and I know you have other books, and I want to give you an opportunity to quickly go into those in just a moment, but let's close out of this one, okay? Before we do, is there anything else you'd like to tell us before we stop talking about Peanut Butter's Problem?
Yeah, I would. The book has now been submitted for a screenplay to Hollywood, and that was about 4 weeks ago, and it was good enough for screenplay consideration for TV and movies, and so I have that to look forward to in the future.
Wow. Well, listen, Brian, again, man, it's no surprise to me that it's receiving this much attention. As we mentioned, man, we wish you nothing but continued success, okay? And hopefully we see it on a big screen near us very, very soon. People, listen, I mentioned it a number of times. This is not the only book that Brian has written, okay? He has a number of poetry books that you're also going to want to check out. You're going to want to get your hands on. And I want to transition there next. Brian, quickly, man, dealer's choice here. You've written them all, so no one knows them better than you. But please choose another one of your titles. Tell us a little bit more about it so we have an idea of what to expect when we head on over and purchase it.
Sure. The other book I'd like to highlight is Poems for the Military Veteran, the American Worker, and the American Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on a base campus in Camp Pendleton for 5 years. I've been teaching military kids. And just by being on a military campus and seeing what our veterans have to go through with deployments, seeing what our freedom fighters do on a regular basis, and appreciating our law enforcement and appreciating the kind of job I do as a teacher and just the regular layman, I decided to put the concept of work and military in a book, appreciating people's jobs. So I took many jobs, primarily the military, and I talked about what they do, but in fun, poetic ways. And that book has also gotten some New York Times attention. And I appreciate our military tremendously. They protect our First Amendment freedoms. And I have great relationships with the military, many friends that are in the military. And that's the book that I'd like to highlight today, besides my children's book.
Powerful message, Brian, and I'm so glad you chose that one to quickly plug, because it's a message that we as society, we need to hear more of, man. Like, Yeah, I'm not even gonna go down the rabbit hole. People, you get it. You understand why a book of this magnitude is so important and what it can do for you on your shelf. Listen, man, it's a poetry book, okay? Well, while we're here, Brian, please share some of your poetry, man. If you have one readily available, myself, my listening audience, we would love to hear it.
I have my book right here. I can look for one and then I can read it aloud.
Sure.
Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please.
All right, hold on. I have 3 poems I'd like to share. They're short. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay. The first one is called Sacrifice. Who are the first people to sacrifice our awesome military? Fighting for America's national interests, these men and women are quite extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's military mission. Another day on military watch, protecting my country from the enemy. We'll be victorious in our mission, fighting for the battle valiantly. And then the third one is called Veterans. Our veterans deserve respect for laying their lives on the line. Veterans might lose their lives in combat, knowing that everything may not turn out fine.
You know, Brian, you mentioned at the top of this show how writing has always been a love of yours, has always been a passion of yours. But where does that love for poetry derive?
Actually, I started writing poetry after high school. Before that, I would write songs and I wrote little stories. But since you asked about poetry, I had gone through some periods of depression. And I found that through depression, which could be a tragic thing, depending on your outlook and depending on the decisions you make, I ended up having a lot of words I wanted to express on paper, what I was feeling. And the poetry came from my times of going through depression over things that happened in my life. And the words would just come naturally. And I've written hundreds of poems during times of difficulty, depression. Another thing that stands out regard to what I just said, about 5 years ago when COVID occurred, I had gotten COVID badly. I had gotten a blood clot, I had gotten pneumonia, I had gotten a couple of pulmonary embolisms, and I was going through months of bad reactions to COVID. I wrote one of my poetry books, Poems to Develop Your Christian Walk, during that whole time. So to get back to what you just said, it was times of difficulty is when I would write my poems.
Brian, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing and really for opening up and discussing such a vulnerable time in your life, because I think a lot of people can relate, man, and I think that's going to formulate a bridge with you and our listening audience. So again, thank you for exposing that. Thank you for having the bravery to share that, and especially when it comes to COVID. My goodness, right? Like, what a transition for the entire world that was, right? Whew. You know, listen, there's a lot that we can sit here and we can discuss. And I'm just going to say this one last time, just to reiterate one more time. It's been there on the screen, so there's really no excuse. But just to hone it in, people, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. Most importantly, it's BrianTaylorBooks.com. The Anchor was all about his book, Peanut Butter's Problem. But remember, there are a lot of other books available, okay? And hopefully, a lot more on the horizon. We'll see how things continue to progress. But Brian, I just got to tell you, man, this has been an absolute honor. Such a pleasure. Keep up the fantastic work. And once again, thank you for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you, Benji. It's been an honor.